Well, Chevrolet seems to know the mind of the Indian SUV buyer, and it knows that SUV lovers in India want their cars to be big, bold and muscular. So unlike its other rivals which are busy launching compact SUVs, Chevrolet has decided to launch the big and muscular Trailblazer here in India. Well, not only is the Trailblazer very intimidating on the outside in terms of its styling, it's also very high set and a tall SUV. And one of the negative sides of that is the fact that the sill is really tall and very high from the ground above. So if you have a lot of heavy bags to load in, then that can take a bit of a toll on your back. But that said, the space is pretty decent for two bags with the last row of seats up. Of course, you can drop those seats down. Once you of course drop those seats down, you get a flat loading area, and it really is huge in terms of space with the last row of seats down. Well, not only can you stow away the last row of seats on the Trailblazer, you can also stow away the second row, and as you can see, you get a massive loading area. In fact, you can't think of a better car for those camping trips than the Trailblazer. Well, here I am ready to get inside the Trailblazer, and the first thing you will notice is that it's a very tall car, so you will have to use the sideboard over here to put your feet on it and get into it. But of course, once you do make that effort, getting inside is a very good affair. It is an exceptionally huge and roomy car, and in fact it is probably one of the best and biggest SUVs out there in the Indian market, irrespective of the class or price point. My height for reference is 5'10", and as you can see, I've got decent amounts of headroom over here, and the knee room also, once I of course pull the front seat, is pretty decent. It's not very bad. So even though the Trailblazer might not be the best place for a tall adult like me, for someone who is 5'6" or 5'7", this isn't a very bad place for the short journeys in the city. Well, here I am in the second row of the Trailblazer seats, and I have to say that I am very impressed by the sheer comfort that these seats offer. Seats on the Trailblazer are second to none in this segment. Well, as you can see, headroom is massive and knee room is pretty good too, and I have adjusted the front seats for my height and my driving position, and even then I have placed below the front seats where I can stretch my feet. Well, even though the seats don't slide forward or backwards, you can of course change the backrest angle to increase comfort even more, and that along with the fact that it is a very wide car means that you can genuinely house 3 passengers over here. Well, to add comfort even further, you of course get these AC vents at the back, and you also get AC vents in the last row of seats. So overall, in terms of comfort as well as practicality, the Chevrolet Trailblazer has all the boxes ticked. Well, the front seats on the Trailblazer are very good in terms of overall cushioning as well as support, and you also get this side bolstering over here, which means that if you are someone who enjoys pushing his car into a corner, then these seats will hold you well in your position. Well, another good point about the Trailblazer is the fact that the quality of materials is at par with the Toyota Fortuner, which is currently the class leader in this segment, and all the materials and all the fit and finish is very good indeed, and you don't really find any loose panel gaps or bad quality plastics. And what all that means is that Chevrolet has cut no cost when it comes to quality as well as overall materials inside the Trailblazer's cabin. Well, any SUV has to score on practicality, and the Trailblazer really does come out on tops in that department. You get really huge bottle holders in the door bins. You also get a huge box over here between the front 2 passengers where you can keep your cell phone, your wallet, or those small Diet Coke cans. You also get 2 cup holders right over here next to the handbrake, and you also get a big box right over here on top where you can keep your wallet or your cell phone if you want to hide it from other occupants inside the car. But that isn't really the end of practicality. You also get these 2 glove boxes, and even though they're not huge in terms of carrying loads, they do add a lot of usable options inside this car for keeping those knickknacks. Well, but that is not the end of the usability and practicality bit inside the Trailblazer. You also get cup holders right in front of the front AC vent, both for the passenger as well as the driver. Well, in terms of equipment and features, there is a huge list of them to talk about. So what you can do is go to our website by clicking on this link below and check them out over there. Well, first things first, the Chevrolet Trailblazer is the most powerful car in its category. It's more powerful than the Toyota Fortuner, and it's also more powerful than the Ford Endeavour at the moment, and it delivers 200 bhp of outright power as well as 500 Nm of torque. The Trailblazer will come with only one diesel engine, and that engine comes with only one gearbox option, and that is a 6-speed automatic gearbox over here. Well, the good thing about this automatic gearbox is the fact that it is very quick to respond to throttle inputs, and it does manage to shift up as well as down without any lag at all. Well, you can also shift gears manually by pushing this gear lever over here on the left. Well, but chances are that you will very rarely use it in manual mode because the automatic mode is so good in itself, unless and until, of course, you need very quick shifts on the highway for that quick overtaking maneuver. Well, Chevrolet have offered you 265mm section tires on the outside, and that along with the 18-inch wheels really do make this a very good car for those long highway trips, and it really does manage to take in those bumps very well. It really does soak in the bumps at slow city speeds. Only the worst of worst roads will make their presence felt inside the cabin, and even on the highway the stability of this car is pretty good for an SUV, and you can do 3-digit speeds without any fuss at all. Well, the car's braking is very good as well, but yes, because it is a heavy car and the suspension has been set up softly, the car does tend to dive a little bit when you brake it hard. But yes, the brake feel and the pedal feel is much better than the one on the Toyota Fortuner. Well, SUV owners mostly buy their cars because they sit up so high and they get a very commanding view of the road ahead, and the Trailblazer is better than most others in that department. You really do look down on puny hatchbacks on the road with you, and this car really has a lot of road presence. A lot of other smaller vehicles simply get out of the way seeing this car in their mirrors. There are a couple of issues as well. First of all, the fact that this thick A-pillar over here can obstruct your view if you are pushing this car or taking a big turn or even maneuvering around a roundabout, and it can get a bit tricky because you have to look either ways, but it's something you have to live with. So in summary, the Trailblazer comes across as an SUV which offers you a huge personality on the outside, a luxurious and comfortable cabin on the inside, and plenty of features as well. All that, along with the fact that it has the most powerful and punchy diesel engine in its category, makes this one of the best options for big SUV lovers out there.